Tiama kwanza. Okay. While we are waiting for others, there are others who are supposed to come from Zanzibar. We are not sure if they will be able to come. But also there are some who are here in Zanzibar. And few traveled, but they'll be joining us during the week. But and some of them are trying to, because of they have traveled, they are trying to see if they can attend online. But the online one is not emphasized. We are not emphasizing it. We emphasize more physical classes. Physical classes because that's where there are interactions. That's where we'll be able to understand each other well. And that's where we have an opportunity to ask good questions. But also, the idea behind our program is to make sure that at the end of the day, you don't graduate with your certificate, you graduate with knowledge for transformation. And we are here to facilitate you to get exactly what you are supposed to get, so that you can go and transmit and transfer your knowledge to the society, to organizations, to our community. Right. So before we start, I want to introduce myself. I'm called Mr. Maru Kasa, and I'll be with you in this introduction topic or model. We call it Project Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. And monitoring and evaluation framework, the idea behind it is to shape all of us to understand what M&E is all about. The big picture of what M&E is all about, why it was introduced, why it exists, what kind of value it adds to this profession of project management, but also why it is needed and why you are here. And we are introducing it not just as a subject, but also as a profession. M&E as what? As a profession. And that's why when you go out, you can see our clients, organizations and the like. They are looking for specific people. If it's M&E, then you may find them looking for M&E officer, M&E director, M&E 1, 2, 3, 4. And if they are looking for project managers, and they are specifically looking for project managers. So why these two disciplines look similar, but they are different? Why? These are the issues which we will clarify in this model. The idea behind is also to go and help institutions, because so many institutions, they think monitoring and evaluation is in project management. So sometimes somebody may bring project management credential and use those credentials to get M&E what? Jobs. Kitu ambacho sio sahihi. And that's why sometimes we are getting a lot of problem when it comes to our project. You may find an institution having M&E unit, but it's not functional. It's not working. The institution is still experiencing the same what? Problems. So what really needed to be done, we need to bring out those answers. And it's from this class, we need to get an idea of what M&E institutions are supposed to expect from. Tuko pamoja? So the idea behind this master's program is to produce graduates who are not necessarily going to be M&E officers, directors, but consultants. We want you, if possible, to become who? Consultants. People can come and ask you, we do have M&E unit, but we don't see any results. We don't see any solution. What's wrong with our M&E unit? You should be able to go and diagnose it and get solution. And advise your client what they should do so that they come up with a functional M&E unit. I'm sorry for those who are going to miss this class, because it is the foundation. It is the foundation upon which all other models are going to build on. So once you miss this class, you may find some things in the future, they're like hanging, but they may not be hanging. It's just because you are lacking what? The foundation. And it's very interesting. Don't even worry about what's coming next. The subject itself is very practical. It's very practical, very realistic. For example, the government now it want to introduce M&E policy. Want to introduce what? M&E policy. Want to introduce new cadre within the structure. But when you're trying to look at how that cadre is going to function, because for example, if you go to Muhimbili, they offer M&E, but M&E from health perspective. If you go to where? Zumbe, they also offer M&E masters. But again, from where? From health perspective. But for us, we teach you M&E because everything needs to be monitored. So we are going to be teaching you principles that you will use in any field. In any what? Any field. So you will understand principles that are supposed to govern M&E operations, either in project or in any other thing which need to be monitored and evaluated. Tuko pamoja? Tuko pamoja? Kwa hiyo ndio maana tunajaribu kusisitiza wanafunzi wetu waweze kuelewa what M&E can do for institutions. What M&E can do for institutions. In the near future, makampuni, taasisi zote za serikali zitahitaji kuwa na M&E unit. Iwe ni wizara, iwe ni local government. Every government unit will have what? M&E unit, like the way it works in any other what? Other profession. Kama ambavyo accounting department is critical, human resource department is important, and any other department are important. That's how M&E is going to be. But who is going to be in those offices? Because this discipline is very new. Is very new. So it means if we take advantage of this knowledge, we'll be able to capitalize and own these kind of opportunities. So that's why we need to understand what M&E is all about and capitalize on the skills, especially when opportunity comes. The good thing, government is getting input from us, TIPM, when it comes to establishing M&E frameworks. It's getting input from where? From us. But also we are involved to train government officials on a number of short programs on M&E. So that's why I believe and I trust if we'll be able to get this knowledge right, then we have an opportunity of getting those chances once they happen. So watatuuliza from TIPM, I'm sure you'll be able to do a lot because we know TIPM. Sasa kama mtaniangusha na nyinyi mnaanza kushangaa, then it's going to be what? Yes. Sio jamani? So no matter, we'll try our best to be very slow, but at the end of the day, to make sure that we are capturing each and every element, which is very practical, and you are going to be involved in the future with your customer client. So, asa huyu Mr. Mwanukasa mtamfahamu zaidi jinsi muda unavyokwenda. Ijumaa sikuwepo, lakini nilitamani tuongelee kidogo introduction ya chuo, lakini baada ya hapo then introduce among ourselves so that we know who is who. Alafu baada ya hapo we move on with our subject. Kingine ambacho tulikuwa tunawaomba ni kesho. Kesho na we know it's a public holiday, lakini tulikuwa tunawaomba wote. Ndio tunaanza na off. Ina set mwanzo mbaya. Si ndio jamani? Kwa nawaombeni sana kesho mwepo. Ili tuweze kusukuma gurudumu zaidi. Sawa wadau. Say at the same time. Ili asubuhi tuna mambo mengine, alafu jioni tuunganishe kwa mambo mengine. At least jioni inakuwa ni sio hamna foreni, hamna nini. Asubuhi you can do your things and then jioni come for the class. Sasa TIPM, Tanzania Institute of Project Management, sio kipi. It has almost 10 years now. 10 years now. Lakini masters program imeanza mwaka huu. Na idea behind the TIPM is to make sure that these two disciplines are known in Tanzania. These two disciplines, project management and monitoring and evaluation, are known where? Here in Tanzania. And are known not just as a subject, but as a profession, as a discipline. And that's why we borrow good number of staff from global standards. We borrow good number of staff from global standards. The idea behind is to make sure that those who are attending our program, either project management or monitoring and evaluation, are not understanding them from local perspective alone. We want them to be functional here in Tanzania, but to be functional anywhere around the world. But not only that, when they find themselves working in international assignment, Global Fund wanakuja wanatangaza nafasi za kazi. sijui miradi mikubwa inakuja Tanzania, foreigners, you are working with foreigners, you can teach those foreigners good practices, and if they know, then you'll be speaking the same languages. That's what we want. So most of our books tumetengenezwa zaidi na World Bank na UN. Kwa hiyo miradi mikubwa, at the end of the day, most of the content you find them in our programs. Kwa tunatamani muwe na cases nzuri za kutosha ambazo zitawasaidia pale mtakapokuwa mmekutana na assignment kubwa ambazo zina involve international team. Usifiwe international team and then you become weak. Wanatakiwa wajifunze wagundua kama mna vitu zaidi ya vile ambavyo ile ni wao wanavijua. Tuko pamoja. That's the idea. So, as I said from the beginning, ideally we want to introduce these two professions in Tanzania. And when we're introducing this, we are collaborating with a number of institutions abroad, like PMI of America, Project Management Institute of America, but again, 10-step. We are working with them for more than those 13 years. Kwa kitu tunachokifanya ni very current. When it comes to project management or M&E, we are using very current information. What is happening in the US and the other developing countries, those are the issues which we are talking about in the area. Kwa inawezekana kabisa mtu kaa yuko Marekani asiwe na taarifa, sisi tukawa tuna taarifa. Why? Because we are not getting this information for free. We are paying. Our network, our collaborator, we are sharing resources. We pay every year fees, and those fees are used to pay those researchers who are updating the knowledge. And then once the knowledge has been updated, then they share to all partners, including us. So we have good number of partners in Africa, but also in the other developing countries like US. So what we'll be trying to share with you are exactly coming from global standard what? Perspectives. So I just want to invite you in this class, but with a lot of expectations. So mimi naamini mpaka mmekuja kujoin program hii na zingine ni kwa sababu you have expectations. Kuna kitu ambacho mnakitarajia. Natamani expectations ziwe juu. Your expectations should be what? Very high. Ask questions, be responsible, participate in every assignment, but also ask as many questions as what? As possible. Tuko pamoja. Sasa nikirudi back kwenye hii karatasi ambayo nimewagawia. Tunaona kozi ya kwanza inaitwa research methodology. Wameanza wenzenu kutoka PM, wameanza kusoma research methodology. Kwa na nyinyi mtasoma modules 2, alafu module ya 3 na ya 4 itakuwa ni research methodology. Na the idea of studying, tunajua degree yetu ni ya mwaka mmoja, si ndio? Kwa tunatakiwa ndani ya mwaka mmoja mwe mmecover each and everything. Kwa tutakachokifanya ni kwamba mkisoma research mapema, then you'll be able to start developing your proposal as early as what? As possible. Na tuna walimu ambao watawasupport kuhakikisha kwamba you don't struggle to do your research, your dissertation. You don't struggle. Kama kuna watu kima kitu kimewakwamisha wengine kwenye vyuo vingine, it should not happen here. Unatamani uwe comfortable knowing kwamba there is a team to facilitate you to get through on almost each and everything. Tuko pamoja? Tuko pamoja? So that's one message, and you've reached natamani uwe very clear and very clear to you. Baada ya hapo utaona na study M&E framework, of which is the one which we are about to start this week. And then tutasoma logical framework, Logical framework hii ni approach ya usimamiaji wa miradi, na ni tool ambayo inatumika sana kwenye miradi kwa ajili ya kusummarize mradi na kumonitor na kuwa na uwezo wa kuevaluate kwa kutumia logical framework approach. Lakini mtasoma theory of change is another approach of planning for a particular project, especially zile project ambazo ni more social, ambazo zina involve dynamics, mabadiliko mbalimbali. So how do you make sure kwamba mradi uko on track regardless of those changes, and then at the end of the day you get things done, right? The project can be monitored and still at the end of the day you are able to get to where you are supposed to. And theory of change ipo kwenye miradi mingi ya social ambayo ina involve behavioral change, attitudes, ina involve human nature. Kwa unajikuta theory of change inafanya nini? Inatumika zaidi. Kwa mtasoma hizi zote, alafu mtakuja kusoma jinsi gani ya kudesign M&E system. Jinsi gani ya kudesign M&E system. Asa kila mradi utakuwa na M&E system yake. Kila mradi. So how do you establish M&E system for your project? Kuhakikisha kwamba kila project iko monitorable and evaluatable. Afu baada hapo mtajifunza jinsi gani ya kuestablish kitengo cha monitoring and evaluation. How to establish M&E unit. Hapa kuna 12 components na hii program itakuwa ni ndefu kidogo, kwa ita involve 2 modules. M&E planning, M&E planning standard and M&E performance standard. Kwa mtajifunza jinsi gani ya kwa establish enabling environment ndani ya taasisi kwa ajili ya kuhost M&E activities. Jinsi gani ya kuiposition M&E kwenye taasisi. Jinsi gani ya kuequip M&E unit in terms of manpower, technology and everything. Kwa mtajifunza those enabling things, how to establish M&E plan, how to cost it and how to advocate it. Baada hapo M&E ikianza kufanya kazi, how do you do monitoring? How do you establish system for monitoring in an institution? How do you establish system for evaluation ndani ya system? How do you establish database kwa ajili ya kucollect data ambazo zitatumika kwa ajili ya kufanya maamuzi mbalimbali? How do you use those data to make to share with decision makers and those kind of things? Kwa ni modules mbili ambazo zitakupa, na ukizielewa hizi maana unajua ili M&E unit iweze kufanya kazi vitu gani ambavyo vinatakiwa kuwa. Tuko pamoja? Kwa hizo modules mbili za M&E planning na performance standard ni za muhimu sana kwetu kuzifahamu kwa sababu zinatupa opportunity kubwa. Na opportunity nyingine ni hiyo kwamba hata taasisi ikikwambia kwamba hii ni wizara, this is the ministry, we have M&E unit but we don't get results, can you come and help us and assess where are we wrong? You use these 2 modules to assess it. If they ask you, help us to establish M&E unit in our organization, you use these 2 modules to establish one. Sio kama leo. Kwa ndio maana tunataka uwe professional and then sio M&E kwa ajili ya data. Hatutarajii mtu wa masters akawa mtu wa data collection. Mtu wa kuanalyze